Salam, shalom. I'm giving you all a chance to get in here. Realize how late it was. Like I said, I'm giving you all a chance to get in here. Wise Silas speaking. Peace and wisdom, Tevin Washington. Now I want to do this quick video while I'm feeling okay. Explaining how black people of America are technically white people by law. But this is all based on one's understanding of slavery. Now I'm gonna give you guys a quick little minute, like I said, to get in here. What's up, conscious trapper? I'm too old to have that kind of yeah. Some of y'all gotta grow up, man. You over 30 years old. If you're over 30 years old and you have children, you want to have names and things that's gonna, think in that way. Think like if you was a kid and your dad was the trapper. You get it? You want to do that. So you gotta evolve. Now, I'm assuming I'm clear. You guys haven't said I'm not. If I'm not loud enough over this music at any moment, let me know. Now, let's get straight to this deep video. Of course, visit the website upscaleknowledge.org. Check out my pricing plans. Also go to my shop, upscaleknowledge.org. The shop, though. Check out the lecture magazines. I don't have any laying around. But check out the lecture magazines and become a channel member. Therefore, you can, play back all the content that you may have missed. Now, what's something I was going to say? My prices are not high, y'all are just cheap. You like that, right? It's my new slogan. If the prices are high, it's not the prices, you're just cheap. Inflation. What y'all be calling it? I had to learn the lingo, blood, because I'm from the streets. I just tell a nigga like the price went up, blood, that's that. It's a drop. What word y'all got for when you raising the price on somebody for no reason, but you gotta have one? Because that's all it be. I know y'all don't think things cost more over time. No. What happens is, when you're dealing with business, there's always a fuck up. Meaning there's always this one person that just don't know how to handle the money. So you gotta always raise the price to compensate for they dumb shit. So this is how that go in business. Any kind of business you could think of. Street business, corporate business. The owner of the corporation, his son's a yay head. He stays sniffing up all the money, so they say like it's inflation. And this inflation's just based on that. Like, if you in the streets, the inflation's just based on the cartel. The cartel boss has a stupid, dumb son. He messed up the package. And they have to compensate. So, inflation. I'm not sure. But if you were wondering, like, damn, Mr. Solid, your prices are so high. Is it drought? The prices, all the prices went up on everything. I don't know. What you want me to do, blood? Say, your shit not even physical. Hey, when in Rome, when you in Rome, you got to do like how the Romans do, big baby. I don't know what to tell you. Orange juice is expensive, yeah. I'm just playing. I got cheap prices up there. Expensive ones too. I want to have like $1 million thing, you know? This has nothing to do with ego, just business, you know? If you could think like in business. I want to have like $1 million thing that people buy, like, I haven't thought of it yet, but something. And I'm going to sell like a bunch of these things throughout the year, you know? $1 million a pop, you know? Kind of like the watch. Forgot the name of that watch. Where you can only get it if you get like, you can't buy the watch, you gotta get invited to buy the watch. I forget the name of the watch. Yeah, you heard that right. You can't just go buy this watch. They have to invite you to buy it. You know, that's how dope this thing is. It's not dope, but that idea is dope. So I want to get it like that. Like I got $1 million I want to learn from Wise Solace, but you can't. I have to somebody has to invite you, like they have to recommend you. Then I have to like say like, let me think about it. Million they got? Put an extra 5 on it. Let's get to the content. I'm sorry. Usually I'm sleeping. God rest. Once the world is created, you know, God just sleeps. So I was resting. When I wake up, you know, there's so much stuff to catch up on. Speaking wise. So I have to find my voice. I have to get it right. Now let's get to the deep topic. Domesticating man. And how black people are truly white people. Now, let's start with nationality and race. Of course, before 1865, I think 1865 is when they abolished slavery. Now, before 1865, selling people was legal. Of course, you had the rules governing this selling of people. But overall, it was legal. Now, when I say rules, I mean like you have countries now. These countries have civilians. Let's say 1,000 years ago. So there was less countries, more forest land. Of course, the countries, cities, they're developed in the forest, out of the forest. But I'm just giving you a perspective. Wherever you live at, there would have been more forest land in the place than you see now. You know, rainforest. Now, the rules governing, you know, selling people. You couldn't sell people from a civilized place. Meaning that if the person is from a country and they have ID, black or white, whatever the skin color, you get my point? They're a legal citizen of somewhere. So you can't just make a slave or sell them. They're already somebody in perspective. But you did have the indigenous people. Now, of course, we have a lot of cities that are countries now. So y'all don't see indigenous people as often. Y'all don't see any kind of animals. You get it? Unless y'all go to the zoo. But I'm just giving you the perspective. You would have seen more wildlife in the past. This including indigenous people. When I say indigenous people, I'm speaking of, you know, the people that are in the forest that are butt naked. They're not civilized yet. I'm not speaking of like Native American tribes or I'm not speaking of anything that has to do with civilized. Before man is civilized, I'm speaking of. This is when he's running around butt naked. And so in the past, you could, you know, the same way you can go out into the wild and catch animals, you can go out into the wild and catch indigenous people. Of course, they're short pygmies, usually brown, short and brown, naked, wild men. In the past, they would catch them, and this was like your base, meaning catch an indigenous person, a small brownie, and then from there you breed it however you choose, creating whatever type of new type of strand of person you like. So let's say you're white or black. So you say like I was thinking about buying me a person. You know, people pets was the thing all the way up into 1865. I don't think a lot of y'all got a perspective to truly grasp what I'm saying. Salam, shalom, Gabe. I'm not anywhere but on YouTube. So I don't know what Grinder is or any other websites, but you're not talking to me. Salam, shalom. Now, I don't think y'all understand like the selling people. You see how it was a time? Well, I guess we still in that time where the girls like the little teacup Yorkie dogs, and y'all not concerned with like what dogs are being mixed breeded to create this strand, and it's just a thing. Y'all like it. Y'all dress y'all dogs up. They look nice and shit. This was a thing in the past. I don't even want to say in the past. All of life, all the way up into 1865, having people as pets was the thing. So you get my point? You get you a dark indigenous person. I call them brownies, little brownies. And from there you breed it, you know, let's say with a white person with green eyes and you make a brown skinned person with green eyes. You get my point? And then you make enough where you can mix breed them in the litter being like the babies. They're born knowing you as their master. And you get my point? The same way y'all grow up knowing like my mom is my mom, my dad is my dad. That. You would know like that's my master. He made me. And according to your understanding, you get my point? And technically he did. He took your parents or your mother, mixed breeded her with something else. Not something else, but another race of some sort. For whatever features they was desiring to get. And the litter from it, which would have been, you know, the person, they grow up knowing that's their master. And this was a thing in the past. Anytime you could think of before 1865. So it's like a people pet thing in the time. A lot of famous people y'all see evolved, and y'all view them like, oh, that was a star. Man, that star was like the king's pet. You get it? He breeded that star's mother and had that star as a like the litter, like as a little baby. And that star was raised up in the king's palace as his pet. The whole family's pet, like the little kids know him. But don't think pet like a dog running around. People were pets. So he did technically, you know, make that person. You get my point? And it's raised in the household with the rest of the family, not as a person, but a person. The family's pet or the family's slave. In that, the little babies, they grow up and that person is still the pet of the family. You get my point? Meaning the person could be 50. The parents dead now, and they kids are now 30. And that person, you get it, was their father's pet, still a pet of the family. And probably would have been called a slave. But that's not to say that that person would have been bad off. You get it? Think like the rich person's dog. He got on way better clothes than the rest of the dogs. You get my point? He eat way better food than. I don't want you to think like slave in the house. He just a pet. I don't know how to explain it where y'all could truly grasp. Like, oh, like the dog. How people love their dog and shit. He's like that. And so that was common in rich people's palaces in the past to have like a black person, and that black person was the pet. Like, you know? I don't know how to explain it with y'all grass. But they did this with midgets too. Meaning in one point in time it was a thing with midgets, you know, little doll sized people. Meaning midgets were made. If you're a midget, I don't want to hurt you. Midgets ain't something that happened in life by mistake. You get it? A person didn't have a messed up gene and just happened to have a midget. We live in a world where selling people was legal. So you had all type of domestication going on with people to get certain kind of features because people are being sold. So if you the person that got a whole bunch of doll-sized people, meaning these people won't, even grown, they won't be bigger than a toddler. So if you somebody into buying people and you like, oh yeah, I want to get my daughter one of those. We literally lived in a world like that. Meaning if slavery wasn't abolished in 1865, a lot of y'all would be like that right now. Talking about, I think I want to get me a little, think about getting me a human pet for my kid. You get it? So you can get me one of the brownies. That's an indigenous person. Make me a light-skinned, green eye, whatever. And you get my point? Same way y'all would do with a dog. Meaning y'all in the times where y'all can kind of pick the kind of dog you want. Say, I want a little teacup Yorkie, but I want that shit to be a pit bull. That's some Jordans on. Like, we live in a strange world that y'all don't grasp. And so this is why slavery was abolished. Slavery being a domesticating man thing and, you know, selling them to other countries, whoever's into buying people. Not always for like how y'all think, for like slavery and picking cotton. That's just a small aspect, you know, a small aspect of a thing. But overall, selling people like that was common. And so you had midgets being breeded. This is how you get midgets in society. This is how you get all the nationalities you see. One nation of people, they made the other. Now, when you're dealing with making countries, now when you're making countries, let's say, a country or a state is made out of the rainforest. And of course, every continent you see now would have just been a rainforest in one point in time before all the countries were made. And of course, the countries is made slowly over a process of time, but think like North America. All the countries we have are states. We have states, other places have countries, same difference. All the states weren't developed. You get my point? Say you go back to 1492, there was no developed states named with roads and highways and tunnels and none of that. Just a rainforest with indigenous people running around it. You know, your butt naked brownies. Now, those indigenous people would have been used to create a subspecies of whatever the colonizing race was. So In the case of Italy and Spain, your Italians and your Spaniards, where they came from their developed lands. Give me a second. Sapphire said, compared to how we run modern America, slavery is actually inefficient. Thought you said something deep. I didn't. Salam, shalom. Now, where was that? Think like Italy and Spain. When Italy and Spain came here to the Puerto Rico area, that's like Middle America. It was not a developed place. They developed it, and they made the people like a darker subspecies of themselves. So let's say when Italy and Spain got to America, you got your brown indigenous people running around, your butt nakeds. And so like in that way, they mix their selves with the indigenous people, making like a darker subspecies, a darker Spanish people. And of course the place is called Puerto Rico at some point, and the people take on the name. The people now being a darker subspecies of the colonizing race. So you have Italy, Spain, Portugal. Puerto Rico was just like, you get it? A Puerto Rican is like a subspecies of those races of people, those races of people being responsible for making those people. Now, of course, the subspecies and the initial colonizing race, they take, from the indigenous people of the forest and they sell them. So you would have figured your Puerto Ricans are your darker subspecies of your Italians and those from Spain. The darker subspecies would have been catching the indigenous people in ignorance, not knowing like, oh, we were made out of them. You get my point? They would have been catching them and selling them off to the colonizing race. And this is how they would have been making their money. From there, the colonizing race, they selling them back in their country. And the people there, they buy these indigenous people. This is them in their pure state. Call them brownies or from scratch. And you can make them however you want from there. You get it? Say, I need a white person with green eyes to mate. Once I get the litter, then I can just keep breeding that out. And I have, white or brown, green-eyed strain of people that I sell. And if a rich person over here says, oh, I want one of those for my daughter, you get it, they'll buy it. So this is what slavery is. It ain't necessarily how y'all view it. You know, that Alex Haley Roots thing, where niggas pulled up on boats just snatching people. It don't work like that. It worked like, in the past, before we had all the countries we have now in states. You would have seen more forest lands. You would have seen more animals than you do now. And you would have seen indigenous people. In that, you get it? Kidnap one. And let the breeding process begin. In that, you get my point? You had all kind of different people being made. Get some of these trolls out of here. Peace and wisdom to those of y'all that's grasping. And so it was different times. It was different times, meaning when y'all look at the past, y'all perspective is a little off. It's too modernized. Y'all don't understand how things kind of went. But that's kind of how that would have went. So look at it like Italy and Spain, these would have been developed countries. They come to the Americas develop them a place, and they make a darker subspecies of themselves. Like I said, making people was fun, I guess, in the past. So if you a white race of people, I want to make some more of us, but darker, like in a different place though. So now Italy and Spain is over here as Puerto Rico, a darker subspecies, so to say, of them, all living in the same times. So now you have those from Italy and Spain, you have those from Puerto Rico. Not the same people, but the same people. You get it? Meaning the Puerto Ricans being a subspecies of the Italians and those from Spain that came. Mixed breeded with the indigenous people, so to say. And the same is for the Italians, meaning Italy, Greece, Greece and the Phoenicians, the Greeks and the Phoenicians colonized Italy before it was a developed place. And they made Italians in the way like I'm explaining how Puerto Ricans were made. You get it? And so those from Italy, they like a darker subspecies of the Greeks created back in the Greek times. And you get my point? The selling people thing all the way back to the beginnings of time. These people being indigenous people. Now, when you're dealing with the North American side, same thing. You got your brown indigenous people, your pygmies, short little brown, butt naked, uncivilized. Those from England, you know, the Dutch, England, the Netherlands, they came to the north. You follow? And so they did the same with the indigenous people there, meaning they mixed their genes, or they mixed bred with the brown indigenous people of North America, creating, you know, an in-between line. But overall, they're creating brown Englishmen, you know, little brown cinnamon buns. I don't know how to explain it. So, so they make these brown Englishmen. Then, of course, you have the indigenous people that's left over. They're sold like, you know, they're sold like from scratch. Like they're from scratch. You can make whatever you want out of them. They're just brown. You gotta mix breed them with something, and you get it. But you have your brown Englishmen, meaning your people from England came here. These are plantation masters of old, and they're making little brown Englishmen. Like I said, selling people, owning people. This was the thing. And of course, they may sell some of them, or they will take some of them back to Europe to show them off. Like, look what we made. Little brown Englishmen. In that, the little brown Englishmen are a darker subspecies of the colonizing race. If you grasp what I'm saying, then you grasp, oh, black people in North America, y'all white. Y'all a darker subspecies of the Englishmen that came here. That's why you niggas speak English and all snooty. It's why black people of North America get special treatment. You, whatever race you are, y'all was the president? No, you wasn't. Y'all rappers, y'all wear big chains, y'all live how we live? No. Are you jealous over it? Yes, you are. You know why we get that special treatment? Because this go back to what I said. We the little brown Englishmen. We the darker subspecies of the Englishmen in North America. The same way the Puerto Ricans is the darker subspecies of the Italians, and for the most part they run Puerto Rico. I'm not saying there's not Caucasian people there overall running it, because you know we live in a system. But overall, the dark-skinned Puerto Ricans are the darker, I don't want to say the darker Puerto Ricans, they could be white colored, but they're a darker subspecies in comparison to the initial colonizing race, those from Italy and Spain. The same way Italy and Spain, they are darker subspecies of the Greeks that colonized and made them. And so when you're dealing with black people of North America, do you get my point? We get lost into the complaining and a lot of agendas that was pushed. But overall, that was the agenda. These white colonizing races are making darker subspecies of themselves in other places. You get it? Making like sub-countries, sub-colonies, and with subspecies running it in perspective. So you may see pictures of black people like late 1700s, 1800s, dressed like Victorians, looking mad snooty. And that y'all say, man, black people was kings and rulers of old. We come from that, you get it? That English muffin shit. You get my point? We like the subspecies of the Englishmen, the white people that came. In that, a lot of the plantation masters, they're leaving everything to the brown Englishman. Do you get it? Meaning we was inheriting the whole plantation. So you're going to see black people with nice suits on like the white man would have on. If you grasp what I'm saying, it was breeding us into them. Just a darker version over here. In that, you got little brown English muffins. For the most part, that's what y'all are. Sapphire, can you please make your comments make sense at some point? Yes, I'm saying rich people were playing with crossbreeding like dogs, but it's not so much a rich thing. You didn't have to be rich to have a dog. Like now, you don't have to be rich to have a dog. It's got to do with kidnapping indigenous people. Of course, if you deep in the city, you're going to have to buy one. But it ain't like none of y'all can't steal a dog. I'm sure some of y'all dog was stolen. Y'all ain't shit. So I'm sure there was slaves stolen. But overall, it wasn't, it still happens now. Where y'all think all these undocumented migrants are coming from? Just what's left over after the subspecies is kind of created into place. They gonna, be the citizens of it. And the rest gets sold. Of course, selling people is illegal now, but it still happened. Meaning if you somebody from New York and you like, let me just shut up because y'all don't know shit. But just to give you a perspective. There's a bunch of people in your state right now that ain't been civilized for so long. And that, do you get my point? Niggas be going down 34th Street picking up these, you get my point? We live in a crazy world. They down there homeless, so niggas gonna exploit that. And so if you kind of got a mind to grasp, I don't want to say too much. Y'all stupid. Y'all do stupid, dumb shit. But if you somebody with a half a brain, you kind of get what I'm saying. Go down there and pick amongst those, new arrivals, so to say. And they gonna do anything for a little bit, let's just say. Now, if you think back in old times, they'd be getting kidnapped and sold. C70, G70 said, I don't think you know what a species is. I don't think it is worth. A lot of y'all are programmed. So you think right and wrong got to do with whatever program in your head. And so I don't think you know what a species is. Species don't just pop up, fool. You got to make it. Just like all the strands of weed you see. You think they just grew on their own? No, dummy. You got one strand of weed, then people make more. The same with people. People are made. You just too dumb and ignorant. Some of y'all are young. But whatever the case, come here to learn. You don't got to come here and try to tell me anything. Y'all say they're the dumbest shit. Y'all say the dumbest shit that don't make no sense because it don't go with your agenda. Care about no one's agenda. It's not my business. Now, like I said, people were being made. Your blacks from North America being made into brown English muffins are darker subspecies of those that came from England. When you're dealing with those over in Haiti, they little dark Frenchmen. You get my point? Meaning those from France came over to the Haiti area, developed it up, and that's why they speak French, and they're like dark-skinned Frenchmen. And any place you go, so it's the same. You get my point? Meaning the species or race was made by the colonizing race to be like a darker subspecies. I guess having a darker version of yourself was cool. Think like in now time. So y'all might say like y'all want to make a whiter subspecies of yourselves or something. And so it's like humans are a species. I'm gonna let you go in a minute, champ. Salam, shalom. And so this is how things went. Meaning whatever race you could think of, there's the race that comes before it that made it. It being a subspecies of that race, usually a darker version. But, this was done in China everywhere. Make little dark Chinamen. So, breeding people and selling them all over, that was just normal. Now, when you're dealing with like Africans, because I know a lot of y'all are saying, what's the difference between African blacks and North American blacks? A lot of Africa was colonized by Arabs. White people came over there later, kind of hijacking the shit from the Arabs. But a lot of those African countries that's over there, they was developed and colonized by Arabs. Meaning the difference between a black North American and a black African is the black North American's a black brown German. You get it? I mean a brown Englishman. And the African's like a brown Arab. Think like Mansa Musa. Mansa and Musa are Arab. A Mansa's like an Arab word for, it's a word for an Arab king, Mansa. And Musa is the Arabic name for Moses. It's like I said, the Arab countries they colonized a lot of North Africa. White people came, you get it? It ain't no one group of people, but the developed lands, think like Amazonia right now, the Amazon rainforest. You got multiple different nations over there. You get my point? Doing making subspecies, so to say. Making new countries and the citizens of it. Of course, they going to use the indigenous people of the area. And they're not that civilized. So you get my point? And so use Mansa Musa, King of Mali, I believe, of old times though. Use him as an example. A lot of your Africans, they are brown, darker subspecies of Arab nations. Follow? So that's the difference. Meaning you can see the difference between an African and a black American. I don't care who you are. We like to play dumb and be like, no, they look the same, but a Somalian looked like I said. He looked like a black person that might be an Arab too, though. You follow? When you look at the Africans and you understand what I just said, then you clearly see it like, oh yeah, if this do got to do with, a breeding and selling people type of thing, then yeah, I get it. Somalian look kind of African. A lot of those countries over there, you could see that the Arab presence just in their beliefs, the way they speak, all of that. But when you come to North America, the blacks, you see it, the distinct Englishmen. You get my point? Meaning whether you speak in our features, the way we speak is crystal clear. Look at it like this. If you see a white person and you see, Arabs are kind of light skinned too. If you seen a white person and an Arab, you'd be clear on the difference. You get my point? They're similar, but overall, you see the difference. You like, nah, their mannerisms and stuff like that is different, and small little features. If you look at us as darker versions of these white races, you get it? Haitians, they're Frenchmen, just dark Frenchmen. North American blacks, they're just brown Englishmen. You get it? A lot of Africans, they're just brown Arabs. You get it? If you look at it from that perspective, the same way you could look at a white person, meaning you could look at somebody from England and clearly tell the difference from them and somebody that's an Arab. It's the same with blacks and Africans. If you grasp, you can clearly see, no, he's an Englishman and he's an Arab, meaning an African man would be an Arab and a North American black person would be an Englishman. Now just look at yourselves. You clearly could see what I'm saying. Y'all are Englishmen. Y'all not Africans, meaning y'all not Arabs. Africans, on the other hand, Arabs. Like I said, your Arab nations, they were colonizing Africa way before the whites. And so you get my point? This is how you got Mansa Musa and all of that. He really just an Arab, like half Arab, half indigenous brownie from that place. And you get it? But don't think so much slave. Like I said, some of the people are being made to be the darker subspecies of the colonizing race. And then, the excess indigenous people, they sold other people so they can make whatever they want. You get my point? And that, you start getting all kind of nationalities or races, subspecies. And things like midgets, all kind of weird shit. You get my point? Retardation is made. A person is a person, so you only gonna have think like how they say with like a wild gorilla or a wild tiger. They say like once them things get to adulthood, you get my point? Meaning there was a dude that had a tiger in Harlem. I think that shit bit his leg off at some point. You can't have a wild animal as a pet. Once it get grown, you get my point? It's going to eat you. Just off the fact that, territory and it being the alpha or whatever is going to challenge you. Now, you don't mess up to no goddamn animal. Meaning animals in the wild at some point, they challenge each other for domination of the space. That animal ain't like people where y'all be like, oh, they say he was real, so he get to be the ruler. Nah, they gonna test that. You got to dominate me if you want to dominate the space, and I ain't about to guess on it. We gotta see, like, can you do it? And that the pet gonna challenge the master at some point, just to be reassured. Do you supposed to be the master, or am I? If the master's a person, you get my point? Now, it's the same with humans. Meaning in the past, they're selling humans, but once a human gets to a certain age, you get my point? They gonna rebel, run away, do something. In that, I guess somebody came up with the genius idea, man, we gotta make us a strand of men that don't mature past like a 3-year-old's brain. The same way they made the midgets, which is just people that don't grow past toddler size. Like I said, selling people into different kinds of people. You got people thinking around the clock of new strands of people to make, to sell. You get my point? So think like if we were still selling and buying people. Some of y'all will be sitting here right now like, what races could we mix together to make something new? You get my point? Like that. We can mix a Somalian person with a orange head Viking or something. I don't know, but you're looking for a new result, like something new, so you could say like I got the new thing on the market. So little brown Englishmen. This is North American blacks. A little Entenmann's, a little brown cinnamon toast crunch, a little brown white boy. Y'all little brown white boys. Now I know y'all got y'all fake agendas. We Africans, man. Shut the hell up. No, y'all ain't. You better know the life y'all live, man. A little brown English muffins. That's what y'all are. And so we was inheriting a lot, but I guess somebody got wind and was like, nah, it ain't going down like that. You feel me? And so shit get weird, but if you grasp, black people got most of the power in North America, like I said. People from rulers from England have more authority than we do, but I don't know, other people from North America got more control over the place than us. The mayor of New York is black. You get my point? Most of the states, a lot of the mayors are black. We kind of run the place. We just always complaining. In that, it make it look like we ain't getting shit, but we live better than everybody else. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. We ain't good with money, but we ain't living bad. You get my point? Meaning a black poor person just mean the nigga don't got good spending. I said, you get my point? Y'all ain't impoverished. Y'all too goddamn fat to ever be like, no, we starving out here. How? You motherfuckers are greedy. And so there's your nationalities, in a brief perspective. Meaning if you black from North America and you like, no, I thought we was brought over here on ships from Africa. Nobody bringing sand to the beach. And wouldn't nobody bring no African fucking slaves to North America because they ain't got nobody to sell them to here. This place being developed, why would they bring some shit that's for sale to a place that ain't developed for sale yet? Think on that. Where you live at right now, it's a developed place. They got stores and stuff. You could sell things. Now, let's say there's a rainforest and, we can go there and take resources, people, animals, whatever we want. We gonna take them from there and bring them back to our place to sell it. I can't sell a fur coat in the rainforest. Ain't no goddamn store or money. It ain't developed yet. Who am I selling it to? That part. And I had niggas coming from Europe here taking whatever they could get, bring it back to Europe and sell it. That's people, cocoa beans, corn, whatever. But they ain't bringing shit from America to Africa or from Africa to America because these places ain't all the way developed to sell nothing. Meaning whatever was recouped in Africa was brought back to Europe, and whatever was recouped in North America or the Americas period was brought back to Europe and made for sale. In that, they wouldn't have brought no African slaves on a ship all the way here. Now, that African thing, that's just an agenda to kind of wipe over what I just said, which is y'all truly brown Englishmen with inheritance. You get my point? No different than the Puerto Rican over Puerto Rico. But That kind of was wiped over with the African agenda. The African agenda is a white agenda, but they just use black people for that agenda. If you lost, think like Alex Haley. Let me turn this down. I apologize. Think like Alex Haley in his book Roots. You see how the story, the Alex Haley story, Roots, all that shit fake? It's based on the truth. Meaning it's something like the truth, but none of that shit in the book actually happened. There was no Kunta Kinte and a foot getting chopped off, and none of that actually happened. He just made all that up. But he made that up based on what he think slavery was. Like that. When you're dealing with that African agenda, you're going to get a lot of made up shit. Because that's what it is. Otherwise, why Alex Haley just didn't get true documentation and write Roots? Why he had to make up a story? That part. Again, why do you have to make up something if it's already true? That part. And so when you're dealing with the African slavery thing, you're going to come to realize most of the stories or the history you given on it, it ain't true. Meaning some of y'all probably dumbed down. You like, I didn't know Roots wasn't real. Everybody know Roots wasn't real. I'm assuming we in a time now where everybody know that already. Kunta Kinte shit made up. Maybe y'all still lost. I don't know, but that shit made up. Like I said, that African agenda is just to wipe over basically North Americans. This is why they call us African American. Is to say like the genus that we start from. Meaning you got different indigenous people going all the way back to primates. So you got your Africanus. I forget the names. It's like 3 or 4. And it's got to do with the features of the indigenous person. But this go all the way back to your primates, like your Denisovans, your Neanderthals. Neanderthals is just white, your early white indigenous man. Meaning the indigenous people look more primate the further back you go. But as they get contact with civilized man over time, you get it? It changes their features. So there was a time before they was just brown, indigenous, butt-naked pygmies. Think like Sentinel Islands. They're black, short pygmies. Indigenous people, they run around butt-naked for the most part. Let's say you go back 10,000 years, because they had contact with people at some point. They don't have contact anymore, but they did at some point, because they have fire and arrows. So you figure back when civilized man was using arrows, it's when they came in contact with civilized man, and they haven't contacted civilized man since arrows times. Meaning when you're dealing with the indigenous people, this is how you can identify the last time they've had contact with civilization. Look at their tools. If you see the indigenous tribe and they got rocks and sticks tied to it, you know they ain't came into contact with civilized man since back in the Flintstone times when civilized man was using rock and stick like that. You get it? Now, we at a time where we got machine guns, but it wasn't always like that. Meaning there was a time where the pinnacles of civilization was a sword. But we way past that now. We got machine guns. But let's say you came across an indigenous tribe running around the forest butt naked with swords. You know right there, they ain't had contact with civilized men since Viking times. Meaning the last time they seen a civilized race of people was during the time of the Vikings when men ran around with swords. And that's what they still got as the pinnacles of, you get it? Their civilization at that time. We speaking indigenous people. Of course, all civilized nations, they kind of move ahead equally. Meaning we got guns and the next civilized nation got the same thing, guns. Ain't like we got swords still and they got guns. Well, I guess in Pakistan, I seen them niggas throwing slingshots. I seen the Pakistan. In Pakistan and Israel having a war, not this one, maybe the one before this. They was having a little dispute because they always beefing. And I think the Pakistan dude had a slingshot. He was busting on him. I said, what the? Gotta get out of there, cat daddy. Blood was still in David and Goliath times. He ain't understanding like an AK-47 will hit off your forehead like a backboard. You better get out. Get out of there, blood. And so I'm just giving you a perspective of indigenous people because most people ain't familiar with that. But that's how people were made in the past. And so if you're wondering, like, we not Africans, meaning you ain't Arab. You never been to Africa, that's why you don't know nothing about that. The Africans want to come over here, and y'all want to go over there. But it's the same, meaning it was just two rainforests, meaning Africa, that continent was a rainforest. America's the same. And colonizers came to both places. Italy and Spain, Portugal came to the Americas. England as well, a lot of different places. I don't want to make it like one place, but you get it? Different civilized countries came. Same in Africa, and these things was happening simultaneously. Meaning in 1492, if you go to like 1482, I think his name is Diago. He was selling up the Congo River stealing pygmies, bringing them back to Europe to work in his chocolate factory. So you get my point? They was being colonized at the same time. In that, you got the grass, meaning y'all lost on black. A lot of places got black people in terms of skin color. Many races have dark skin color. In that, we kind of try to tie everything together. They brown over in Africa, so they like us. No. You got indigenous people from different continents. That ain't the same. Maybe at some point in time, you know, they come from the same, but we passed them times. Outside of that, like I said, Africa, that whole thing is just an agenda to make y'all think y'all African. But I don't want to get lost into that. You know, y'all are childish in y'all agendas. But overall, I know y'all all got a brain grasp what I said. And it's all, you get it? Meaning what I just said, I already know y'all already know it's the truth. Y'all got y'all agendas. Y'all will route them out as long as y'all choose, I suppose. But now you know. An African got to do more with an Arab. And a black North American person got more to do with an Englishman. You know, Victorians and shit like that. That's why we snooty. We think we're a little better than Africans. Now, they ain't got nothing to do with Africans. It just got to do with everybody. That's that England in us. Like, we New England, my nigga. This New Amsterdam, blood. I'm just telling you, like, you can get higher. Like in like in Amsterdam, my nigga. This New Amsterdam. And the black people are the brown Englishmen of the place. Made by the white Englishmen. And so, when you get to the Africans, same difference. They just made by Arabs. Meaning a lot of Arabs colonized those lands. It's like an Arab and white world. Meaning whites and the Arabs have been beefing over who's gonna run the world forever. You get my point? From now to, meaning the Israel and Pakistan war, the Israel and Palestine war got to do with that. Arab Muslims versus white unorthodox Jews. This is why when y'all see the Israeli soldiers doing interviews, these niggas is white with orange hair and shit. Like a Viking. And you like, what the fuck? I didn't know an Israeli was white as fuck like that. Yeah, man. Y'all don't understand none of this. Y'all think, yeah. Y'all lost in y'all own agendas, and that y'all be missing all the realities, all the real history happening. So, it's just the Arab thing and the white thing. And the many subspecies of these two And this go all the way back to Arabian Nights. Jason Henson said, they're not real Jews. Like I said, y'all lost on all the agendas of the world. And black people too scrambled brain to learn anything. But my channel ain't about programming, champ. Meaning you're saying what you're saying because it don't go with what was programmed in your brain. In your brains, I guess, been programmed the blacks is the real Jews. Now snap into reality, nigga. That part. Y'all like play dumb too long for me. I ain't really got time for it. It's beautiful y'all want to say y'all Jews. Y'all have no authority. No one's going with anything. You get my point? Just save it at some point. Nick Cannon said we was the real Jews. Then that nigga, he watched his mouth so fast. Meaning the real Jews told him you better watch your fucking mouth, ignorant nigga. Just because you think you know shit don't mean you know anything. Niggas withheld information from your fucking race for 400 years. How you parading around, nigga, like you really know something? And that's probably what they told him. And that's the realization a lot of you niggas need to get. You're running around here dumb talking like, get real, blood, this real life. All that made up history shit sound good. I'll just adopting other people's shit. That's it. Meaning, because you black and say you a Jew or you say you African, you just adopting other people's shit. And you can overskip that all you want. Until we name ourselves as a people. You get it? And come into our own. Just like little kids running around saying dumb shit, playing dress up. You get my point? Meaning if you black, you got to make sense at some point. Y'all got to stop running around blurting out stupid shit. We still all one people. And some of y'all running around dumb talking about we Jews. Some of y'all dumb running around talking about we Africans. Others of y'all running around talking about we Native Indians. As a whole race, we look stupid. You overlooking that part. Y'all can run amongst each other arguing all day, and that's beautiful. Now, from the next race, looking at this race as a whole, it's one thing crystal clear. Y'all have no clue who y'all are. That's why y'all like the kids that's like, my daddy is this and my dad, you get it? Embarrassing us as a race. Meaning those of y'all that's Hebrews or you say you a Jew, those of y'all that say you're African, Indian, overall, y'all embarrassing the whole. If you had a brain and really cared about your own race and how stupid you look or how not stupid you look, y'all would have been laid off that. Name don't identify nobody. Who they are is what identify them. If I could look at you and see you black and the same thing as me, what do I need a name for? If I could look at my sister and identify her, it wouldn't matter what name you called her. You get my point? The same with one of my kids. You could come along, change their name, kidnap them. None of that would matter. I can identify them as mine. That part. Same with the stupid nigga in the daytimes running around talking about he African, but he from America. I can identify that me and you the same. I ain't got to get lost in whatever dumb words you talking. What would it matter? As long as I can identify, okay, he one of mine, he just stupid. What else we talking about? That part. Y'all lost on the agendas. This is why y'all keep skipping over what matters, going into the stupid things that don't. Like agreeance on a name. Meaning y'all all want niggas to agree they African or agree they Hebrews or this thing or that thing. But that don't do nothing for us. That part. And not concerned with the progress. I like children playing dumb games. And so, overall, pay attention to the whole. Y'all could get lost in y'all agendas all y'all want. But overall, y'all making us look stupid as a whole. Meaning any other race got the right to say, y'all don't know who y'all are. You fuck this stupid niggas over here saying y'all Jews, and these stupid group over here, y'all saying y'all Africans. In that, in the court of law, any race could say, man, them people the most lost people on the planet as a whole race. Because they all saying they different things. How y'all all different stuff? That part. How some of y'all Africans, some of y'all say y'all Jews, that mean y'all don't know what y'all are. And that's what y'all showing. Meaning when y'all running around playing like y'all so smart, y'all just showing the ignorance in the race as a whole. Meaning as a whole, we dumb. Can't even agree on a simple thing like adults. Most of y'all lost an argument just for content's sake. I forgot this your real life. Looking to make content. That's why I always tell you, if you an African follower, we ain't got no problem. I'm grown. I can identify who my own is, nigga. You ain't got to put no name or label on your forehead. I don't require you to do that. You get my point? Meaning if you were African, you made that up. But I can identify what you is. Now black niggas running around in America talking about they the real Hebrews. I can identify they the same thing I am. Outside of that, whatever they talking about, well, charge that dumb to dumb. Meaning we black people as a whole. So y'all over here saying that, and they over there saying that, and they over there saying that. And as a whole race of people, y'all look stupid. Do you follow? Meaning everybody else is going by reality. Eyeball. In that, the white race say, well, the nigga that say he African and that nigga that say he a Hebrew, they the same. You think the white races are the Arab races or all these other races are looking at y'all and really falling into that? Where they say, okay, well, he said he African, so he is. And this one say he a Jew. You think they really remembering all the dumb shit y'all say? No. They going like I said. They can identify that you niggas is the same and just stupid. That's how they gonna see it. The same way I see it. That part. I say the Hebrew Israelites and the Pan-African niggas that's arguing in Harlem, they the same people. They just stupid. The same shit any other race would say. They sitting around arguing over a name. They stupid. They don't see they the same. You got to agree on a name to get that part. No, you don't have to agree on no goddamn name if you can identify that you and the person is the same. Unless you're trying to cause stagnance and shit. Do you follow? Meaning we all can identify who's who. But since y'all want to argue over the name of shit, that part, that's why we stagnant. And that's the agenda. Meaning if you think blacks is Hebrews or blacks is Africans, you just fell into a white person's agenda to keep us stagnated as a people. We all got a brain to know that as a people, we haven't named ourselves. We're trying to adopt names that already was or that belong to other people. And we all know that already. Meaning I ain't heard none of y'all make up no name. Y'all are reaching for names that already was. And so we can keep skipping over all these truths, acting like we stupid. And that's beautiful. But like I said, everybody can identify who's who. So at this point, the name arguing is just a stagnance thing. That part. When the Pan-Africans is having a debate with the Hebrews online or in person, can you see my point now? I ain't insulting or jabbing or playing a game. I've been teaching for 8 years now. When I first came, I said, when y'all get to the end of the debate, 8 years later, you get my point? We're still having the same conversation. But I'm tripping when I say y'all planted here to cause stagnance in the race. And every generation they do this. Meaning every generation they pop up with the African talk, the Hebrew talk, to cause confusion. Every generation. Meaning we start off free, breaking the law, falling in the game. This real shit. We start off free, so we be breaking the law, do whatever the fuck we want, because this is what free kids do in life. So this is how black people start off. Free. Then we start letting motherfuckers program us as we go along. So when you get about 20-something years old and you like, I want to get into my nationality, you get it? It's the same story every generation, meaning I could tell all y'all what y'all did, because we all did the same thing. You was free breaking the law. That's what free is. When you don't think. When you're like, I don't care about no law. I'll do what I want. Then that ain't work out for you so great at some point. This is when you hit your 20s. And then this is when you say, man, I think I need to get my life together and find my nationality and who I am. And you get it? And then that shit just be sitting there right there waiting. In every generation, we all go through that stagnance. Then by the time you get my age, 50 years old, you like, I'm done with all that dumb shit. But you forget to reach back down to your young and say, hey, don't get caught up into that shit, man. You get it? That part. And so the Hebrew Israelite nigga, he 50 something years old. He got a little 30-year-old son coming up doing the same thing he did all over again, which is accomplish absolutely nothing. Now, so it's the same with the panhead monkey. You get my point? It's just a repeated cycle, but ain't no progress on anything. And that shit is instilled for that purpose, meaning to keep us stagnant. Of course, those that follow it, they wasn't told that. You get my point? Ain't nobody gonna tell you like, yeah, this African shit is just an agenda to keep us stuck on stupid. Never claiming the place we at. And you get it? Of course they ain't gonna say that. But it ain't a person a part of these things that at some point ain't come to the realization that I'm saying. Y'all just become attached to people. So then y'all play dumb after that. You know that I'm riding with my niggas no matter what. Cool, I'm grown. I ride with my niggas, but you still got to make sense. So if you're African, or you think you are, I ride with you. I wouldn't be wasting my time explaining the truth to you. But I'm not going with your dumb talk. And we could fight over it too if you want. Nigga won't make me no different. The same way if we was brothers in the same household. I don't go with anything you say, nigga, and watch your mouth. I'll fuck you up, little nigga. Like that. Real regular family shit. I heard you. I wouldn't care what you said, blood. I'll beat your ass. And then mommy come home, she could sort this shit out. She could help you wipe your mouth and shit when I bloody it. But outside of that, you still my brother. You just better stay in the pocket. That's how I look at a Hebrew Israelite, an African follower, all of y'all. We brothers. Just watch your mouth. And I ain't got to go with every dumb thing you say. You still got to make sense. And so you get my point? Outside of that, we got to name ourselves, like I said. If we don't, then we'll just be called African Americans. American is fine. That's what they call a place now. We the only people named after the place, so I don't have no problem with that. Meaning if you want to know your nationality and you black, you're the only person on the planet called an American. The Chinese people living here, they Chinese American. Meaning they from China American. They from China born here, but they not American. They Chinese. You follow? A Puerto Rican is from Puerto Rico. Even if they was born in North America, they still a Puerto Rican. You follow? Every nationality where they from. If a Mexican live in North America, he's still a Mexican. Even if he was born in fucking Brooklyn, he a Mexican from Mexico. The only people who have American in their nationality is the ones that have the African in the front. Do you follow? The white person from England born in America, they English. That's their nationality. That part. The only people on the planet who are referred to as Americans by nationality are black people. If I say, what are you? You're going to say I'm an African American. That part. Every other people, they just what they are. Chinese. China Mac is Chinese. Do you follow? That part. An African is from whatever country he from. Ain't no country Africa. Do you get it? If you lost and you like, no, but we from Africa. Ain't no Africa. That's not no country. They just put that on there. The Africans from Morocco, wherever he from, and that's any other people you could think of, a Mexican, this person, that person. Their nationality is wherever they are from. The only people from America is the ones that got it in their name. Meaning if you a black person from North America, you are African American. Or truly you just a American. Meaning we are the people from this place. That's why nobody else got it in their name. Do you follow? The white people that's from here, they not from here. We know where they from, Europe. Even if they was born here, they're from Europe. It's in their nationality. I'm from Ireland, this, that. What people are from America? That part. Meaning if you black, you are an American. Yes, they stole a place, but you don't have to get law. They didn't steal it. If you grasp everything I'm saying, we still called Americans. Y'all just don't have a brain for nothing to grasp. We could get anything we want. Nobody have no argument against us, but y'all are claiming other places. Do you get it? Meaning y'all are claiming African, this and that. But if we claim American, then nobody can argue with us on that. What they gonna say? We named you that by mistake? Why you ain't named nobody else that been floating through American then? You get it? You even got Indian tribes, but they ain't no American in they shit. You get it? Now, Indian reservations, they Chickasaw, Cherokee. They ain't American. That part. It's our place. You're not from Africa or nowhere. You an American. You come from the indigenous people that was here. It's still in our name. Otherwise, show me a African American from Africa. That part ain't no African American from America. Nigga, either a Moroccan, a Somalian, you get it? He whatever country he from. Not an African. That's a term you use for somebody when you don't know where they from. You get it? If we see somebody in America that's from Africa, but we don't know what country they from, we just put them into African, like from Africa. Weirdo, I don't know. Like that. When have you ever mistaken an African black for a North American black? Never. Meaning y'all were running around talking that black shit all day. But ain't none of y'all ever mistake the black chick for African chick. Y'all all know the difference when just from seeing, like, that part. If we look that much alike, how come when I see an African in Harlem, I know, like, what is not, you get it? You're African. You don't have to speak or nothing, just his mannerisms. And the way he look, don't look the same. A Somali in my complexion. Somalian skinny too, like me. But do I look like a Somalian? No. That part. They'll probably call me fat boy. Call me a fat boy in Somalia. Meaning we look similar, but we don't look the same. I ain't never get mistaken for somebody from Somalia. I get mistaken for a Puerto Rican. Not somebody from Somalia. Meaning I got more in common than a motherfucker from Puerto Rico and Mexico than a nigga from Africa. Because I get mistaken for them more than that. Nobody never mistake me and said, damn, you from Africa? That never happened. But Puerto Rican people do come up to me speaking Spanish. Talk about me, I don't know. I be lying like I am Spanish back. I talk with them back. But you get my point. I got more in common with a Jamaican person. In my spare time, I walk around, I be like, what's my favorite Jamaican? Say, I don't want peace. I want problems always. What Jamaican song is that? What did it be like? I don't want peace. I want problems always. That's how we live, man. If you from America, whether you from one of the islands, whatever, you feel me? The Europeans came over here, they made darker versions of themselves out of us. But you get my point. For the most part, we are the indigenous people. You get my point? Meaning the Puerto Rican the same as the North American black. They just a brown pygmy that was mixed with Italians and Spaniards. And they're the darker subspecies of them people. But overall, you get it, they ain't no different than us. We the same indigenous people from the Americas too, just mixed with those from England. They made us brown Englishmen. You get it? And people from France went over to the Haiti area and they made them niggas brown Frenchmen. Meaning the Haitian ain't nothing but a brown fucking Frenchman. He talk French, he talk French, the nigga. Get it? And this is why a nigga like that's from America, a black American, we look at a Haitian, we like blood a little weird. The same way an Englishman would look at a nigga from France, like blood a little spicy, like he a little polyvoof. He a little meaning if you a black man from North America, we used to, when you go in school, you kind of tease the Haitians. Cause they a little strange. They ain't all the way black like you familiar with. Like that. Like if a France person met somebody from England, the person from England might be a little more, more tougher than somebody from France might be more, parlez-vous français, more sexy, like, Haitian dudes will wear like loafers and shit. Y'all know how the Jamaicans be dressing. They wear tight pants with loafers. Now, niggas from the black people, we ain't, you feel me? We ain't with all that showing our feet. Like, most black dudes, like, nah, I need something to cover my foot, man. I ain't wearing no loafers with no socks on. What I look like? Black people will cold blood wear slippers with socks. We don't give a fuck. All that feet out shit, that's a little too sexy for black men. But a Haitian, a Jamaican, they different kind of black men. They don't mind. They always got their fucking feet out. But that's a distinct thing, that separate like a North American black from like one of the people from the islands. Don't play that feet shit. Jamaicans stay with their feet, toes all curling around. That shit cute. The dudes, they all feet all out. Next time you see a Jamaican, you will see what I mean. Or Haitian. Nigga will have straight sandals on with his feet out. Cold blood gangster too. You like, it's rude. A nigga can't be a Crip from Compton with sandals on. Niggas ain't, you get it? It's just something in black culture. And you a man, you can't do that. Like, you can't be like, I'm from Hoover's, cuz, and you cold blood got on loafers with this part of your feet out? Hell nah, blood is not down. Look at his feet. We cold blood like that. Say blood had on sandals. He's not down with the set. But if you go to like Jamaica or Haiti, nigga will have his feet out. A Haitian Jack, cold blood gangster, he'd have his feet out. Probably not because he from New York, but you get it? If he wasn't, you feel me? He'd have his feet out, twirling his toes around and shit. So, it's just a different bump. He said, I ain't showing my feet. That's just normal for black North American. Meaning, you get it? That ain't what we do. That's more like black Africans. They, like I said, they Arabs, so they don't care about showing their feet all day. And you get it? And Caribbean island blacks, and it's not a part of their culture where you not supposed to show your feet. But when you come to the North American side and you dealing with them blacks in our culture blood and you a man, You don't show your feet. You get it? This is why y'all don't just naturally see rappers with sandals and shit on. Think about it. Your favorite rapper ever had on the new sandals? Hell no. You might stop listening to him. It's like a sign of weakness for black men if your feet showing too much. This is why the dude in your neighborhood, he came out with slippers on, but the nigga had on socks. Like, why this nigga got on socks with his slippers? Some black people would just pull up with just socks on. But rarely you gonna see a nigga barefoot. I tell niggas, you go to the pool, you see black niggas with their shoes on. The chicks too. She wore cold blood have on heels. Like she had on a whole bathing suit thong with heels, my nigga. Awesome. They will wear flip-flop sandals. Meaning even with the chicks just having your feet out. And you black and you from North America? Nah. Even with the chicks. You got to have on sandals or something. You can't just be walking around here like a bum. You get it? That's how our perspective kind of work. You running around this bitch barefoot, you a bum, a slave or something. And we got like a different culture. Of course, hip hop, this is our culture if you're from the North America. Meaning if you're a black American, a black Englishman. That's what I call us. Brown English muffins. But our culture is hip hop, meaning this is how we used to this is how we used to get raised. Meaning most people view hip hop as like music genre that we have, and it's not. Hip hop is how we raise. Now everybody put their piece into the hip hop, and then it's in there like our culture and our jewels forever. I don't know if I'm saying it right. This rapper, he rap whatever he rap. The next rapper, he rap whatever he rap. But this all go into hip hop. And it's all Jews for the kids when they coming up. So hip hop is how we raise the kids, like through songs. Like that's our culture. On breakdance and shit, that's how we get our workout. You get my point? Everything I'm telling you, this real culture. Meaning if you go back to the late 70s or 80s, hip hop wasn't music. Meaning it wasn't a music business or a music thing. It was our culture. Like how you raise the kids through hip hop. And you start off beatboxing and breakdancing and shit. You get my point? And they get better with their words and things through their riddles. And so this is how most of us came along. 5 years old, you listening to this song. When I was young, I'm listening to Crisscross. Jump, jump. You get it? But we learning. Like, it wasn't just something where you just get negativity pumped into your head like you dumb. You learn a little history, everything. You know, fight the power. And that you kind of learn, okay, we a little oppressed. This shit I just learned at 8 years old. It's from listening to that shit. So the music had like substance in it. It was like school. When you get a certain age, you're going to start to come into hip hop. This is breakdancing. This is having a party in the middle of the block with a DJ plugging the thing. And you get it? Everybody fellowship. It wasn't a party. It was like a fellowshipping thing. Because people ain't just in the middle of the street dancing. You got little kids doing hopscotch. We talking 7 years old. When it's block party time back in the day, you 7 years old, it's 1 a.m, you out there. That's the day everybody's going to be outside all night. You could be 8, 4, whatever. Whole diaper on. Middle of the street dancing with everybody else. And you got some niggas playing skellies, some niggas rolling dice, and you get it? It's just the culture. Like, our yearly festivities, it just have to do with black people and what we do. And like I said, hip hop, that was like our own personal school. And when you come of age, you might start busting rhymes too. And them rhymes get added into hip hop, and you get it? The black kids, they grow up, they listen to these things. You don't know who they gonna listen to, but the message there. So some of y'all just now coming of age, y'all listening to Prodigy. Mobb Deep now. You get it? That's why we wasn't supposed to let them spoil out hip hop. Because that was our own, you know, like they say, a village raised the kids. So hip hop was like that village In that, you like, I might have to go to work. My kid gonna be listening to hip hop. But hip hop's the culture, so it's all good. You get it? I could trust Ice Cube. I could trust Public Enemy. This is when I'm growing up. I could trust Chaos One. Yeah, you talking gun shit, but they always bring it back to, you get it? They bring it back around. You gotta have fun too. You know, we are tribal people, so warring is a part of tribal stuff. But for the most part, that shit was always brought back to the point. You get it? Have unity. You know, Queen Latifah, UNITY, so on and so forth. And so it was like that. Once the white corporations took over it, you get my point? And they kind of realized that. And this thing raised them. It's like their tribe chief spirit, whoever this nigga was, he have a spirit that lingered around. And it's hip hop things like that. Like they are all their grandfather. And at some point they start listening to that shit and doing what it, you get it? They start breakdancing and all that shit and they learn their shit. That part. Then they started changing it. And they make it more negative because they know we all gonna learn from that. And so we gotta just clean up hip hop. Hip hop not being our music. That's our whole culture. See how y'all be seeking out cultures and trying to see like who we are as a people? That's who we are. We black North Americans. Hip hop is our fucking culture. And that's how we teach the kids, but it ain't good for teaching them right now. But in its time, it was something that everybody add their contribution to. So all the old break dances of old, they still somewhere documented in somebody's mind. You get it? The oldest rap you could think of, somebody remember that shit, and that shit still play a pinnacle point in somebody's life. Them old KRS-One songs and Public Enemy songs, they still in certain people's brain. And they still live by some of them jewels in there. Like that. It just lasts forever. And then you got the new people. Y'all add y'all contributions to it, and you get it. It make for more culture and more wisdom for the ones coming later. So my kids got more music to dive into than I did. And they kids are gonna have more music to dive into or more culture to dive into than they did. That's why we gotta keep it clean somewhat. Cause it's more than music. It's pretty much how we learn. We don't take in everything from school, but we take that in. That's just culture, go from generation to generation. Hopefully y'all grasp. Jason Henson said drill music is a destruction to our people. It's good music. It's just nothing balancing it. Like I said, it's our culture. So that is a part of our culture, busting them hammers and, having our little conflicts. But, you get it? It usually get brought all the way back around. You get it? And black people family members gonna have clashes. Meaning if you black, we gonna have an argument here, there. That's just normal. How out of hand it got to do with the community. And they're stepping in and saying, okay, cut it out. But outside of that, the drill music's still part of the culture. It just got to be cleaned up to a point. You get my point? I don't know how to explain it, but if you go back to the tribal times before the city was built up, I'm sure there was a warrior chief or one of the people in the tribe that had a warrior spirit. And when that nigga got up and did his dances, and because we been rhyming for a long time. And so when he got up and did his rhymes and his dance, that shit probably was gutted as hell. He probably was talking about killing every fucking opposing tribe. But it was still love in it. Like, you get it? I don't know how to explain it. It's like when Pac's dissing Big, you could hear the love in it still. He's like, remember I used to let you sleep on my couch, you fat motherfucker? And that, you like, nah, they brothers though, because look what he's saying. He ain't just tearing this nigga to pieces. He kind of telling him like, nah, we together, but fuck you right now. It always was like that, where you can identify, nah, they got love for each other. They just stupid. And the community got to just step in, and you get it? It don't be like that now. Y'all shit just be ugly. Like, no point. Meaning y'all beefing with each other for no reason. Y'all don't even have no relationship to become sour for you to be mad at a person. Y'all just picking anybody to beef with. And that, when you making your diss rap, you just ODing for no reason. You get it? As opposed to you having a relationship with somebody and then they go a little sour and now you got a reason to be mad. Y'all ain't like that now. Meaning y'all just seeking problems from anywhere y'all could get it. Person could be a whole stranger from a whole nother city. You don't even care. And that, when you making diss, you get it? You just go to the extreme stupid. But if you use the Pac and Biggie reference, then you could get what I'm saying. You could tell they had a relationship at some point, and this is just not a beef that they pulled out of thin air. There's a real miscommunication going on. And so he's dissing them, but it's still from a place of love. You get my point? It ain't just from a place of whatever. And so even when you see like Death Row speaking of Bad Boy now, you could tell like they admire each other a little bit. It ain't all the way. It's like stupid and fake a little bit. That's how we are as a people. Meaning it's all being orchestrated. We naturally would just be loving people to one another. And so this is why y'all beefs be like that, all goofy a little bit. Where you like, it's almost forced. You're just doing it so they can look like they down or something. They don't want to do it. It's not real. On the one hand, Tupac saying, man, y'all causing the East Coast, West Coast beef. It ain't that deep. You get it? Where you looking like, man, this is forced. Y'all have problems in today's times because the corporations influence y'all to have beefs. Meaning it's forced. But that's to make the music sour, because like I said, the music is our culture. And that's how we learn. The babies. Everybody. And so try to grasp. DJ Precious said, I like how you be the first to say the right things. Salam, long as they pass down. And that's why it's important you don't just go with anything. You got to be right. Meaning I don't oppose people, but your shit got to be right if you want me to get behind it. I ain't standing behind no agenda. That's a waste of time. Meaning I could sit and go with the agenda that y'all African or Indian or this or that, but ain't nothing there for that. Everything is in the truth. Meaning everything I just said is just the truth, the plain, clean cut truth. But in that truth, do you see how much history and how much shit y'all could actually live by? It ain't nothing I said y'all can't live by. Hip hop is our culture. Y'all can clean it up like that. Maybe nobody never told it to you like that. Where they say like, nah, hip hop is not our culture, but you get it? It's a living, it's the spirit of the old and our shit. I don't know how to explain it. It's like where all the souls of the blacks go. And it's like our elder spirit or our elder thing that when we all come of age, we gravitate towards hip hop. And that's where we get all our know, for the most part. Not our programming and brainwashing, but our know. And the programming and brainwashing come from the videos and the TV shit. But in regards to our know, it comes from the music. The music, it just got to stay true and clean. And that, you could depend on, the music raising up your baby right. Meaning you could be a parent and say, I'm going to work, but my baby locking in on hip hop. And I know, the brothers in hip hop, they responsible. Like I said, where you could say, like, yeah, I could trust KR as one. You get it? I'm going to get my kid his album. I ain't tripping. My kid would be all right listening to him. Like that. We got to get to a place where we could do that. When we speaking of our rappers, we can say, nah, I could trust them. Meaning, whatever they contribute into hip hop, is good. As the culture, meaning whatever the babies pick up on that they pumping is gonna be good. And so that's how most of people my age came up. Meaning our parents ain't had no problem, letting hip hop babysit us for a little while they at work or whatever. You get it? My mother bought most of the music I listened to growing up, like Crisscross, Another Bad Creation, this thing, that thing. You get it? The same with most of y'all. Y'all parents buy the music for y'all so y'all can have something to do. It just ain't good no more. The music's good, but the message ain't. And it ain't being balanced out all the way, so try to grasp. Yes, I know about Olmec statues. Salam, shalom. And so kind of grasp. If you black, just North American, just an American. That's the name of the place. And that's our name. We the people of the place. No other people. That's why no other people have that name in their name. And the faster we grasp that, the better off we'll be. From there, our culture ain't got nothing to do with no religious book, this thing or that thing. Our culture got to do with a thing called hip hop. It's being exploited out right now. We can get a little more hold back over it. And that's that. And every people culture start where it do. You get my point? Meaning blacks, we a people that was made in 1800s by the Englishmen that came over here. Say from 1620 up. We was created during them times. And so our culture start whenever it start. But that's what it is. Our culture start with America. We are the Americans. And our culture is that hip hop thing. Jazz, all of that's a part of hip hop to me. You get it? I mean, James Brown was rapping before the first rapper. And a lot of them dudes was back in the day. They was just rapping over guitar beats and live instruments, but that shit was rhyming what they was saying. It was cold-blooded too. I mean, they didn't have more flow than a lot of y'all got now. And go listen to some old James Brown. You'll see, like, nah, Blood had flow. Meaning Blood could spit. He just from a time where you had to harmonize it a little bit. So in that, you kind of grasp, he even more colder than y'all is. Because y'all rap and try to sing now. They was doing that shit back in the day with no auto sound. Meaning James Brown don't have a singer's voice. Blood made his own auto. He make his own voice sound like it need to sound. And that shit flowing like. So I don't want you to just get lost in rap, but hip hop. What you got to do with cardboard boxes, breakdancing, and all kind of different shit. Jumping on mattresses, flipping, all that. Skellies, hopscotch, all that. So, kind of grasp, it's a deep thing. Salam, shalom.